In 11 months, this man is going to smash his own reflection with his bare hand. Right now, he just wants a new phone. This is Julian Reyes. He didn't lose his life to a disease or a debt collector. He lost it to something quieter, and by the time he understood what was living behind his own eyes, it had already signed the lease. He was a mid-level analyst surrounded by generational wealth he'd never inherit, smart enough to model other people's fortunes, not wise enough yet to see he was modeling his own ruin. "Bro, is that the 11? My little cousin has the 11. In his world, an outfit wasn't clothing. It was a credit score worn in public. And Julian had just been told his score was falling. $0 due today isn't a price, it's a spell. He told himself it was an investment. What he didn't say out loud was that he'd started skipping lunch to make the minimums feel smaller. He was starving his stomach to feed his avatar. He had no idea that word, avatar, was about to stop being a metaphor. The first sign was never the eyes. It was the timing. A reflection that hesitates before agreeing with you is the oldest warning there is, and the easiest to ignore, because who studies their own mirror for a crime?
You looked tired today. Derek noticed. I fixed it.
He didn't scream. People rarely do the first time the fantasy talks back, because some quiet, ashamed part of them was hoping it would.
Keep the lie breathing. That's all I need from you.
Nobody hands you a contract when you build an avatar like this. You sign one anyway. In installments, in interest rates, in every time you chose the version of you that photographs well over the version that sleeps well. And soon the bill would come due, not from a bank, from somewhere colder. This is the room every version of Julian eventually finds. Not hell, worse, an audit. Hell has fire. This has math.
You wanted to know what you're worth. Let's calculate. $1,200. At your hourly rate, after tax, after rent, that's 88 hours of your life. 88 hours of fluorescent light traded for 11 ounces of stitched wool.
The Matrix lets you live in a fantasy, but it calculates your metrics with lethal precision. Just one more year. One more year and I'll start saving.
That's not going to be me.
It's already you. I'm just showing you the timeline you haven't lived yet.
Gracián wrote 300 years before credit scores existed that a wise man withdraws his esteem too fast rather than too slow. Julian had withdrawn his from everyone, except the one person who'd never earned it, himself, as performed for strangers. But knowing the math wasn't the same as surviving it. That part was about to get physical. This is the stage no one warns you about. Not bankruptcy. The moment your own hands stop working for the people who love you.
No, come on.
She worries. Worry doesn't help your ranking. I handled it.
I can't even feel my own hands.
You don't need to feel them. You just need them to hold the phone at the right angle.
He looked around at everything he'd bought and understood for the first time that he hadn't built a life. He'd built a cage and paid interest on the bars. Pain was the one currency the avatar could never counterfeit.
Don't. We had 88 hours in that jacket. Don't waste them.
It didn't die loud. It just stopped being fed. Breaking the mirror was the easy part. What came next took 11 months, and no camera was there to see any of it. First, he counted the damage. $8,400 across 4 cards. At minimum payments, the math said 19 years. So he did the one thing he was actually trained to do. He stopped running from the math and started running it himself. Smallest debt first. Not the smartest math, the smartest psychology. He needed to feel a win before he could trust himself with a bigger one. Then he built the thing no one had sold him. A tool for people exactly as broke and exactly as ashamed as he'd been. For 3 weeks, nothing. The silence was almost worse than the debt. $7. It wasn't much. It was never going to make him rich by December. But it was the first money he'd ever made that didn't cost him a version of himself to earn. For 1 second, the old spell tried the door again. He didn't win by never being tempted again. He won by recognizing the door and choosing, quietly, not to open it. 11 months. Not a jackpot, not a windfall. A number he built 1 honest hour at a time. He was finally broke in the only currency that had never been real, the image. And for the first time, he was rich in the only one that was, his time, spent on purpose. Gracián left one rule for men like Julian, long before mirrors could lie. Know yourself, your capacity, judgment, inclination. Not your image, not your ranking. Check that reflection all you want. Just make sure, when it looks back, it's the only one there. Julian's story isn't over, and neither is yours. Subscribe, because episode 4 goes somewhere this one doesn't.